All right, we are joined by PGA Tour rookie Dan Brown. I've been looking forward to this one. You've got quite the personality. I'm looking forward to chatting, getting to know each other. First question: how's it going? We talked a little bit in Phoenix, and you said you were kind of deciding where you wanted to live. You were kind of looking at Texas. You were looking at Florida. We haven't made any progress on that front.
No progress, but I did enjoy Phoenix.
Scottsdale is an area where a lot of people live. You know, there's a golf community there.
Yeah, for the golf, definitely. Yeah.
What did you get after it? Did you go out like Old Town?
I did, yeah.
What does that look like?
Carnage.
Okay. So
absolute chaos down there.
Yeah, it's like they call it Scott's Vegas. You know, it's got a little bit of a Vegas feel.
Yeah, it's good. I'd go again.
All right, so you grew up in North Allerton, which is, I looked up, North Yorkshire, halfway between Leeds and Newcastle. Is that kind of a fair, like, where do you tell people that you're, do you say Leeds? Do you say Newcastle? Do you say
I usually say I'm like at 50 minutes an hour south of Newcastle. That's what I usually say, because it is pretty much butt fucking nowhere, isn't it? There's not a lot. There's not a lot going on.
Is it Newcastle territory or is it Leeds territory?
Neither, to be honest, but that's what I tell people. There is actually, so Middlesbrough is actually only about 30 minutes away, but I never ever tell anyone I'm from anywhere near Middlesbrough because it's a hellhole.
Well, Michael Carrick was the manager there, and he's doing a good job in Manchester United.
He was. So. Yeah.
So some people, I was looking at your Wikipedia, which is, you know, journalism, how I look up all my subjects, and some people have a long early life in Wikipedia. Yours says Dan Brown was born in North Allerton, England, and then it just skips to you being 22 and finally getting to the Challenge Tour. So what were those years like between, you turned pro in 2017, I think we're roughly the same age, both born in 1994. You had a long road to get to where you are now.
Yeah, it was. There was a few dark years in there. I had a pretty good amateur career, really. Like won a couple of decent competitions, played for England, played for my county for a lot of years, and then just turned pro and just struggled like crazy. I think I was maybe a little bit naive in thinking that I was good enough because I had a decent amateur career. I maybe thought, oh, this is like, no, it's not going to be a breeze, but I'm going to do all right. And then I was on the Challenge Tour and got the shock of my life, and basically I was just nowhere near good enough. And then had a year on Challenge Tour, had to drop down to Euro Pro, which was like a mini tour in the UK. Did that for a couple of years, and then COVID hit, and I was actually going to quit golf. Well, I basically did quit golf for about 6 months. And then COVID, I would have been about 25, I think. Had a long, hard look at myself in the mirror and thought, you need to sort your shit out because this is not what you wanted to do as a kid.
What would you have been doing?
I have no idea. I was applying for jobs in supermarkets and all sorts during COVID. Like, it was not great. Not great. When you want to be a professional golfer and you're sort of potentially going to work in a supermarket, it's a bit of a different one.
What because I know just from talking to guys who play the American mini tours, like what a rough existence it is. Like you don't have any money. Like what did those years look like? Are you raising money from sponsors? Are you eating like ramen? Like how did you survive those years?
Just grass, just eating grass and pond water. Yeah, it was. I basically didn't earn any sort of decent amount of money until the age of probably 26. So yeah, it was pretty rough. I had like a little bit of sponsorship each year, but not enough. I mean, I was maybe getting like £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 to like go for a year of a professional golfer, which obviously we know is not quite enough to get you by. Certainly not on the mini tours anyway, where you can't earn, you've obviously not got the opportunity to earn that money back. Like it was a rough one, but thankfully it progressed and picked up.
Do you kind of miss, I guess you're a little like older than most, I feel like a lot at least of the top British kids or European kids are now going to college. Was that ever like in your mind?
It was a little bit, but I never really saw myself doing that. I think maybe because I hadn't even been to America before. So that was maybe I don't know. Maybe if a couple of our family holidays were in America, then I maybe would have thought about it a little longer. Um, but I'd never been to America, so I kind of, when the opportunity came around, I can't remember which colleges now, but there was a couple where they kind of offered scholarships, and but I kind of just didn't. I kind of just dismissed it straight away, really.
So you grew up in Yorkshire, so you must have been playing with Fitzy on a lot of those teams. Was it interesting watching, because he had such a rapid rise, right? Like
Yeah.
he was winning DP World Tour events, playing in Ryder Cups. Did that kind of motivate you? Like, I've played with this guy, I can do it, or was it like, man, he's miles ahead?
Um, yeah. So me and Matt, I think he's about a month older than me, so we were like same age group. I think we've probably known each other since we were maybe like 12, 13 years old, probably as young as that. Um, Played like the county stuff, played the for England together, and then yeah, obviously he maybe like was it maybe when he was like 18, 19, he just seemed to just keep getting better and better and like quickly as well. Um, and then maybe by the age of 20, 21, did he win his first title on the European tour?
Yeah, he won the USAM at 18, and then I think he
Yeah,
won first DP World Tour event at 20, and then I think he was on
maybe
the Ryder Cup
20.
at
Yeah,
21. Yeah.
yeah. I mean that. Yeah, and then that's when you like, yeah, it makes you kind of realize how, I suppose it makes you realize how quickly it can happen. You can like make things happen quickly if you put the work in. And but obviously he's been a great player from such a young age, and he's always been a hard worker as well. So it never really surprised me that he's done what he's done in the game, and obviously going on to win a going on to win a major as well, which is amazing. Obviously, to see one of your sort of friends from back in the day. I suppose we kind of didn't really keep much contact, but it's still like great to see when we grew up and sort of took the same path together from probably the age of like 12, 13 up until he he kind of reached the heights he did at such a young age.
You know, my first exposure to you was at the Open when you made a run, and
Yeah.
the internet was just obsessed with you, like sneaking a cigarette. And then this
Yeah.
happened again at Phoenix, where you handed a cigarette out. When did the smokes come into the picture? I'm more of a zone nicotine guy myself. I got a whole pack of them right behind me. And do you like also think it's kind of strange that the internet is just like obsessed with golfers who smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that my parents don't watch this because I'm about to bear all. But yeah, I probably started smoking when I was like 20. I think it all stemmed from kind of like growing up, going on nights out, um, and you sneak a couple of sort of heaters in on a night out when you're having a drink, and then it just stemmed from there. But it's, to be honest, it's mainly when I'm golfing. I'm actually not. I actually don't smoke that much away from golf. Um, I don't know. It's maybe just gives me something to do when I'm bored walking in between shots, I suppose. But yeah, it did go pretty viral at the Open, and then there was a few videos knocking about was it last week at in Phoenix? Yeah.
But surely now that you're on the PGA Tour, like you're working with like, all these trainers and stuff, are they like, hey man, we should probably stop this, or do you just tell them like, hey, we're not talking about this?
I don't actually, believe it or not, I don't actually work with a trainer.
I can't believe it.
So I've never, yeah, I'm not a big gym goer.
So we had Justin Rose on the show last week, and
Yeah.
he is a big gym goer,
He's
and
huge on it now. Yeah.
yeah, so we had him on, and I asked him to give me the sort of play-by-play of an 8 a.m. tea time, and he was telling me I wake up at 5, tea, coffee,
Yeah.
get a massage, work out in the morning, then he does activations, then he hits balls, then he plays, then afterwards he goes back into his RV, and he's got like 2 hours of freaking red light and fresh oxygen. And what
Yeah.
is it? Let's say Dan Brown has an 8 a.m. tea time. Give me the full day.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. That's certainly not my. That's certainly not my routine. 8 o'clock tea time. Right. Probably waking up 5:45. Coffee. Rip a cig. Breakfast. I do a bit of stretching. So I go to the golf course, do a bit of stretching, and then warm up. I usually warm up like an hour and 15 before. But it's very like, I don't know. I mean, touch wood. I've never really been one to get injured or anything like that. Only like the odd kind of like, just like the wake up feeling one morning feeling a bit stiff. That's kind of the most I've ever had. So I've kind of stayed away from the gym, and I think I'm quite lucky that I'm quite a big guy, so I'm naturally like relatively strong, I would say. So I've kind of just been able to get away with it, and I think I maybe should start probably going to the gym. I've thought about it for the last couple of years, but I've just never got around to doing it.
Well, you got no excuse now. They got a trailer right next to it. You got all these guys. You're on the biggest tour in the world. Maybe now is the right time.
Yeah, I still bypass that truck. I don't know what it looks like inside. I've never been in,
I
but
love it.
I
So
might I
you've
might
you
find out at some point.
so you've made 4 starts on tour. You've made 2 cuts
Yeah.
so far. How would you describe your start to the season? And then also kind of explain to me the differences in terms of golf courses, in terms of just overall feel between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm happy with my start, but I wouldn't say I'm unhappy with it either. Um, I mean, generally, I do have slow starts to seasons. Like years gone by, I I don't come out the blocks quick. It's usually once I get around to kind of like the latter part of the year is when I generally play my best golf. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, it's been good. I love America, so I've loved like adapting to life out here. I've the previous times I've been here was like only I think I've been to Kentucky, New York, and Boston, um, which are obviously very different places to where we've been so far. But every time I've been to America, I've loved it. So I feel like I've adapted pretty quick, certainly to the lifestyle side of things, and then golf side. Um, the events we played so far have been obviously Hawaii was the first one, which was I wouldn't say it was an easy golf course, but it was windy, so it made it tricky. But I think if you played there with not much wind, I think that place would get torn to bits. You'd be looking like 20 plus under, I think. And then obviously the Amex is like our kind of European, our kind of like American version of the Dunhill. So you play like a pro-am kind of format. And then the last probably 2 weeks, I would say, are probably a bit more normal PGA Tour weeks. Obviously, there's not much normal about Phoenix. To be fair, it's absolute chaos of a golf tournament. But yeah, I'd say Torrey was the first one where I was like, "This is the PGA Tour," if you know what I mean. And it was great. Like the fans were, there was a lot of fans there, a lot more than I thought maybe. And the golf course is amazing, and it's such a strong golf course as well at Torrey. Um, so yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's been 4 very different weeks to start off.
So next you have Cognizant, I would guess.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go Puerto Rico. Yeah,
You're not in the players.
not as of yet, but I can. I've been made aware that I can play my way in, so fingers crossed.
Well, that's the best golf. That's my favorite golf tournament to attend. The
Yeah,
golf course is unbelievable. I love that area. You're going to like Jacksonville as well. Tell me
yeah.
about BFB Golf.
BFB Golf. So me and my friends, when would it have been? Probably about 4 years ago, maybe. I think we were just sat in the golf club. Like we're all from the same golf club. All live in the same area. Back home in Northallerton. And I think we were just like having lunch one day at the golf club, and we were just like, can we just come up with some? Because I think we'd maybe like film some videos on the golf course when we played in the morning. And they were like quite funny. So we were like, we should just have like an Instagram or something or a TikTok or whatever where we just post some stupid videos. And we came up with a name, the Beers for Bogies, which we're sort of trying to get away from to be a little bit more PC with the name. But yeah, it's gone. I'd say for like 3 years it was like pretty quiet, and then this last year it's kind of blown up, and we're actually like starting a YouTube and just started up a YouTube channel. And yeah, it's going to be all the lads have quit their jobs, just to focus on YouTube now and the social media side of it.
Well, that's what happens when you make it to the big tour. Things start to get more
Yeah,
attention. Like I saw the videos of you like one day in Scottsdale, 5 days in
yeah,
Scottsdale.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
cool that you're not just like focusing on your own golf and you're kind of broadening your appeal.
Yeah, do you know what? It's been great. Like I've been lucky enough to like my brother's 10 years younger than me, and he's trying to be a golfer, and I've been lucky enough to like help him out and help my parents out. And then now this like YouTube thing that's that's going on with the guys. I feel like I've had a good part to play in helping those boys out, being able to like quit their jobs and play golf in front of a camera for a living. And we actually went on our first trip to Boston last year in October. And I did think to myself, like, we went for a week, and it was like one of the greatest weeks I've ever had. And I was thinking, this would be the coolest job ever. Like, you
You can do
just,
both.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think obviously they're kind of like the brains behind it. I still kind of like come up with a lot of ideas, but they're obviously more focused on it than I am. But I'll obviously help them out when I can and get onto videos when I can. And yeah, that week was so good, and I was just like, it made me quite happy that once the guys did quit their jobs, it was like made me quite happy that I'm like, they're going to get to do that week over and over and over again. So it's quite a cool thing to be able to sort of play a little part in helping my friends out and do what they love, and which is golf. They all love golf. So
How much do you think you need to accomplish in your career to the point where when I Google Dan Brown, it's not the author?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
it's been a thing since we were kids, right?
yeah, yeah. I've never read any of his books, but yeah, it'd be nice to just be at the top when you type in Dan Brown at some point. I don't know. I'll
Well, it's
probably
like
have to win
Adam
it.
Scott forever. It was showing me the comedian, and it's like I want to see the golfer.
Yeah, I'd probably have to win a major or two for that to happen, I would say.
He's a pretty big author, probably one of the best selling ones ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining the show. It was fun to catch up, and I'll see you out there pretty soon, I hope.
Yes, yes, will do. Thanks for having me on.